welcome to practice. I'm Donna Cavanough, and we're going to begin standing today. And I'm going to begin just taking the left ear to the left shoulder. And really relax your shoulders. Let your head be really heavy and start to feel the stretch down the right side of your neck. You can make it a little bit stronger. You just take your left hand behind you and take hold of your right thumb and anchor that right hand down, and then keep the left ear moving to the left shoulder. Nice work. And then very slowly lifting your head. And then we'll do the second side, so right ear to the right shoulder. And we'll start to find your stretch in the left side of the neck, and notice if your shoulders are holding some tension, relaxing your shoulders. Left side of the neck, beautiful. You can make it a little bit stronger if you want. Take the right hand behind you, take hold of your left thumb, and just anchor the left hand down towards the floor. Letting tension out of the shoulders. Beautiful. And then bringing your head back up to center. And we'll take some shoulder rolls now, up and back. Lovely. And then we'll bring the chin into the chest and stretch the back of the neck. Taking some nice deep breaths, relaxing your shoulders. Good. And then lengthening your neck as you look up. Shoulder blades down, lifting the breastbone. Nice. Back to center. All right. We're going to take the shoulders around the feet in a nice big circle. Think about the part of the spine that lines up with your shoulders, so between the collarbone and that poking out bone at the back of the neck. So it might help to work from the center of the body rather than the shoulders, but the plane of the body we're letting lead this movement. And then back to the center and swapping directions. Nice work. Standing tall now, nice relaxed shoulders. Let's do the diaphragm as the plane of the body that we're moving, focusing on. So moving the diaphragm in a circle around the feet and letting the spine, the body follow. And then the other direction. Lovely. Standing tall, relaxed. And then let's do the sacrum or the top of the pelvis or the hip, like a hula hoop action. You could choose any plane of the spine, any cross section, and give yourself this treatment anytime you feel you need to wake up the joints of the spine, reverse direction, letting the body follow. Finding deep breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to roll forward and roll up. And we're going to do this in a really relaxed way. So even if you start rolling forward, chin to the chest, and even if the skin of the back stretches, that's going to be okay here. And then we roll up. We try to feel each joint of the spine moving. And again, rolling down, nice and relaxed. Tune in to the flow of your breath and the flowing feeling of the movement. Good. Coming up to standing. Standing tall, shoulders relaxed, feeling that lovely suppleness of the spine. We're going to lift up onto the ball of the right foot and make a circle here with your right knee around the foot. And we're trying to move the little joint in the foot and the ankle. So if you keep the ball of the foot touching the floor, you can make the movement of the knee as small or as big a movement as you need. Nice work with that one. And then the other direction, or the other foot, I should say. Did we do both directions? Cross the ball of the foot. Nice big circle. And then the other direction. Lovely. And then we're going to try and do both feet together. So you're going to lift up onto the balls of the feet and then knees make a circle around the feet. And let your upper body follow. So it's a counterbalance. Whoa. Noticing if this is difficult. Definitely is difficult for me. I'm trying to keep my legs parallel as well. And the other direction. Whoa. And then back to standing and relaxed shoulders. Feeling all those movements of the body we've tuned into, our subtle and supple movement. Finding your Tadasana now and your breath. Excuse me for 1 second. Don't put the heater on. Lovely. We're going to do our walking where you pick up one foot, but before you put it back down, you find the floor with the skin of the foot and then transfer your weight. And we're going to take a few steps to step your feet wider and wider. So it gets a little more difficult as you take the feet wider to land without falling. There'll be a little bit of that element of falling, but as much as you can. Good, until your feet are about your leg length. Good, and then we'll turn the heels out and the toes in. And we're going to do that rolling forward again, chin into the chest. We're going to bend the knees a little bit. We're just going to roll the spine down to where you're comfortable. Maybe your hands are on the floor or even your head reaches to the floor. And then we'll roll up. And when you lift up, take your shoulders up to your ears and then relax the shoulder blades back as you look up. And then we're going to roll forward again. Chin to the chest. Rolling the spine. So you can bend your knees. Rolling up. Lift the shoulders up. Take the shoulder blades down, looking up. And exhaling and rolling forward. And last one, lifting up. Nice work. Now we're going to roll forward again, But this time, we're going to keep the bones of the spine pressing forward. So you feel them embedding into the muscle of your back. So let's bend at the hip crease and take the torso forward and take the hands onto the floor under the shoulders, or hold onto your legs if you're not reaching the floor. You can have your legs a little bit bent if that feels better on your back. All right, let's take the arms or the hands and walk them over as far as you can to the left corner of your mat, especially your right hand. Relax your neck in line with your upper arms. Good. So knees can be bent or you can be straightening, but lift the kneecaps. And lengthening the torso, feeling the flow of breath. And letting the body feel at ease everywhere except where the stretch is. But even feeling comfortable with that. Let's walk the hands over to the right side. So you can have your knees bent if you need to. Walk your hands as far as you can towards the right corner of the mat, especially your left hand. Good. So lifting the kneecaps. Oh, you can straighten your legs if that feels good. But really lengthen the left ribs and let your neck be relaxed here. Enjoying the flow of breath. And then back to center. And we're going to bend the knees. We're going to roll the spine up. Take the shoulders up and shoulder blades down and make a little bit of bend. Nice. Let's take the heels in and the toes out this time. And we're going to dip the hips down and lift the pelvic floor and the lower front belly. Good. And then bending one leg, straightening the other from side to side. Seeing how your movement feels. As deeply as you can be with the hips, but really lifting the pelvic floor. Nice work. Stay with the hips dipped down so the knees are bent, and we're trying to lift the belly, lift the breastbone. Take the shoulders up to the ears, relax the shoulders down, and let's take the arms up by the ears. And then lifting up and relaxing your arms. And we're going to try and do those a few little steps back to feet hip width and try your, whoa, finding the floor with the skin of your foot first. Oh, it gets easier as you get your feet closer together. Until it feels natural. Feet under your hips. Tadasana. Standing tall. Relaxing your shoulders. Feeling strong in the front of your leg, lifting the thighs, the hips, the breastbone, the top of the head. Nice. Now we're going to turn the right foot out so that it's parallel to the edge of the mat. And we're going to practice or work towards our Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So what we're going to try and do is bend the right knee and balance on the right leg. So you can lift up onto the left tiptoes, or you might be able to lift your leg away from the floor. But we want to see if we can take the pelvis from facing down at the floor and lift it to face out to the side of your room. Even imagining lifting the hip higher towards the ceiling so that we can turn the ribs and turn the heart up to the ceiling. Now, I keep losing my balance, so I just step back onto my left foot. But I'm going to try and hold my balance and turn the hip and turn the ribs. So if you lose your balance, just land on your left. with that sense of ease. Good. We'll keep both sides of the spine long. And we keep turning and turning, challenging our balance. Oh, really struggling. Good. And then releasing that side. Okay. And then we're going to turn the feet to the front and then do the second side. So turn your left foot out so it's parallel to the edge of the mat. All right. And then balance on your left foot and try lifting your right foot up off the floor. But you can see your front torso is facing the floor. So the trick here is how do we roll the right hip back, the right ribs back. We try to get the heart to shine upward. Whoa. But for some reason I can hold it on this side much more effectively. But keep working with the right hip rolling back, the right ribs rolling back, trying to shine the heart upward. Nice work. All right. We've challenged ourselves on both sides. Let's turn that into more of a half moon now. So turn your right foot out again. Your left foot's here. We're going to find our balance again on the right foot, but we're going to do this with the hands at the hips. See? So lifting up your left foot. If you need to keep your tiptoes near to the floor, that's fine. All right, but otherwise we're going to lift up and we're going to try and turn the front torso to the left side. Good. And if you have your balance there, try to take your arms out now from your heart. So straight out. Lovely. And if you're able to bend a little more deeply, reaching the torso to the right and lifting the left. Coming back to center. Nice work. Hands at the hip. Turn the left foot out and the right foot in. Let's take the balance on the left leg and turn the hips to face to the right side. Stride. Good. And then we'll take the arms out in the heart. You might even be able to reach the torso a little further to the left, lifting the right leg a little higher, challenging your balance. Good. And then coming back to face forward. Beautiful. And we're going to jump with the feet back to underneath it. This time, standing forward bend, Uttanasana. Put the hands at the hip crease and lift the belly, lengthen the belly, reaching out and over the front of your leg. And here we want to feel the bones of the spine embedding forward. Put your hands where they reach to on your legs or the floor. Start to feel the stretch in the back of the legs. So you don't have to straighten them all the way all at once, but rather find that ease in your back, feeling the flow of breath, connecting to that feeling of when the shoulders move away from the ears and the neck is relaxed. Connecting to the feeling of stretch in the back of the leg, lifting the sit bones, feeling your flow of breath. Lovely. And then releasing and rolling out. Pick your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, and Tadasana. We're going to have a little try of Warrior 3, another balance. But this time, I'll turn sideways so you can see. We take the right foot behind. So now we're balanced and we're facing in the same direction as our front toes. And we're going to try and take the right foot off the floor behind, but keep the hips level to the floor. And we're feeling nice and relaxed in the shoulders. Great. Now, I've got my hands near my hips. If you bring them in front of the heart, it's a little easier. You won't be as heavy. Or you can take them by your ears, and it adds weight. So you can always bring them back to the heart. But we're going to reach the arms, and we're going to reach the back leg back. And if you can tip further forward a little, try that, but keeping the hip level. Nice work. And then we're going to come up and release, standing into Tadasana. Feeling the flow of your breath. And just checking in, do you make tension in your shoulders? Because it's difficult. That's a difficult posture. Let's see if we can relax. Okay, so left foot back. Hips are level to the floor. And picking the left foot up off the floor behind if you can. You can always keep the tiptoes to the floor and just try and lift a tiny bit. All right, you can have your hands in front of your heart, press them, or reach the arms by your ears. And really reach the arms, reach the sides of the body, reach the left leg back. We want to keep the hips level to the floor, keep the flow of breath, and maybe you can tip further forward, lifting the back leg up. Good, and then coming up. And release. Finding again your Uttanasana, your standing forward bend. Let's lift the front of the leg, lift the belly, lift the breastbone. And we're going to reach the belly forward. Embedding bones at the spine. Put your hands where they support you, so the chest feels broad. Keep the space between your ears and your shoulders. And feel the flow of your breath. We'll try and make the legs a little bit straighter. Lifting the kneecaps. Good. We're going to lift up, roll up, nice and relaxed. We're going to feel that lift through the front of the body, Tadasana, the anchoring in the back of the body. And lift up your left leg. Good. And we're going to take hold of the left knee with the left hand and take the knee out to the side. Good. And we'll take the right arm out as a counterbalance. Good. And then, whoa, I was going to try and do that without putting my foot down. See if you can. Bring the left knee across your body now and hold with the right hand and take the left arm out as a counterbalance. Feeling the lift in the torso, relaxed shoulders, and breathing. Okay. And then placing that foot down. Find your mountain pose. Flow of breath. Picking up the right foot. We're going to hold the right knee with the right hand and take the right leg out to the right side. Left arm out from the left shoulder, counter balance. Nice work. Take the knee across your body now, hold with your left hand and right arm out from the right shoulder, counter balance. Good, and placing that foot down, find where you're going to place the foot before you do. Oh, Tadasana. Nice work. All right, we're going to practice a little our kneeling movement. So if kneeling is out of the question, what I'll get you to do is give your foot, the front of your foot a stretch. So you put your front of the toes on the floor and really just try to stretch the front of your foot, the front of the toes by straightening your leg. If you're able to kneel down, come into a kneeling position with your toes tucked under. And we're going to lift the knees up and down off the floor. Good. So we're massaging the feet in the other direction. All right. If you've got that lifting of the knees is feeling okay, you can try rolling back then towards a squat position where you try to get the heels as close to the floor as you can. So we're going to go from kneeling to squatting through your full range of movement, even if it's just the first little part where the knees are coming up and down. Good. And then all standing, coming back up to standing. And we're going to try and sit down using your hands minimally or not using your hands. So take your time and, of course, using your wisdom. Because my heels don't really touch the floor when I squat, I try and warm up the length there that I need to sit by swinging from side to side. To try that too. So when I sit, hopefully it's not too big a fall. There's some intention to the movement. All right, and we'll have a seat, a comfortable seat. Taking a moment to find the breath. We want to try and sit with the sit bones just behind the front edge of your little blanket there, so that you start to tip your pelvis forward, wiggling into position. Good. And then we're going to explore our spinal waves. So take the chin into the chest. So we're going to lead with the top of the head. Top of the head goes as far forward as you can and then starts to lift. And then we take the back of the head back. We're going to let the spine follow that movement. Forward and back. As you follow your movement, notice what the pelvis does. It rocks back and then it rocks forward. See if you can tune in to the movement. Your forward and back range of motion. At the top. When you've gone as far forward as you can, and you feel that the pelvis has moved as far forward as you can, the top of the pelvis moving forward, we're going to hold. Good. And then embedding the bones of your spine forward and putting your hands where it makes sense. So if you're more upright behind your hip, if you're further forward, maybe on the floor out in front of you. We're going to take the shoulder blades back and finding the flow of breath. I didn't say it, but you're all grown up. So I've got my legs in cross-legged position if that hurt your knees, you could have your legs out semi-wide instead. And then we're going to lift up. Nice. Let's change the cross of the legs if they're crossed. And we'll do the same spinal waving. So let's take the chin to the chest, top of the head forward, and then top of the head reaches back and the spine follows. See if you can tune in to what the pelvis is doing in this wave-like movement. Even though we're leading with the top of the head, just notice what happens when you get to the lowest part of your spine. Good. When we lean as far forward as we possibly can, the ball of the pelvis is kicking forward as far as we can. That's where we're going to hold and put your hands where it makes sense to help you bring the bone spine forward. Finding your flow of breath. Lovely. And then we'll release that side. We're going to take the blanket out from underneath the sit bones and sit with your feet as wide as they will go, and your legs are bent and your knees as wide as they will go. All right, 90-90. Let's take the knees to the left side, and just to make sure everyone is doing this to the most effective way we can, you're going to pick up your right knee only and keep your left leg quite relaxed. And what we're looking for is the biggest distance from the left knee to the right knee. So there should be a feeling of difficulty, of challenge in opening the hips that much. All right, and then we want to keep that feeling of difficulty, that level of difficulty. So keep the knees as wide apart as you can, while the legs start to flip over to the right. And it's not until the right knee is down on the floor that you then relax the left knee in. Okay, so same thing on the second side. Lifting the left knee, keep the big distance. It should feel like a bit of a struggle to keep the hips that wide. All right, and then don't just flip the right leg in, keep the distance. So keep the distance between the knees. That's it. And then over to the second side. So we're going to keep going, and you can use your hands to help. So remember, the biggest thing we're trying to do is keep the distance between the knees for as long as you can. You can also try this without using your hands on the floor. However, makes sense to use your upper body. Ooh. We're trying to really feel that range, the edge of the range of motion in the hips when the knees are wide. There's a lot going on here. There's internal rotation, external rotation. Beautiful. And then we're going to finish that off. Nicely done. Let's take the feet to the right side of your hip for Bharadvajasana. And place your feet so it's comfortable. If this were to hurt your knees, then you could do more of a mermaid kind of posture. But otherwise, using your blanket, I feel really squashed on my right waist. So I put the blanket in under the left sit bone. and then the waist feels longer both sides. We're going to lean back to find the twist, and we're going to try and twist the belly here. Whoa, and relax the shoulder blades down and finding the flow of breath and taking that relaxed approach again in your shoulders and your neck. And as you find the breath, notice the space. As you exhale, there's even more room to move the ribs. Beautiful. And then releasing. Changing over to the second side. So you want to swap your equipment to the right sit bone. Tucking your feet in neatly or having your legs out and be straight. Let's lean back and find the big twist for the belly and lower back, sacrum. But really it's the ribs that we're twisting. But we just get a nice stretch for that lower part of the core. Breath. Excellent. And then coming back to center and laying down. Legs in a neutral position, that is the hip width parallel, legs parallel and bent. And bring your right knee into your chest. And we're going to take the right knee out to the right side and the left knee can fall out to the left. So again, you get to just feel broader across the front of the pelvis. Okay, just bring the legs back into parallel and see if you can take hold of your right foot with your right hand. If you can't reach to there, take hold of your leggings, your clothing. And we're going to try and do the same thing, but with the legs starting to straighten. But try to keep your right knee close to your right chest. And so we'll take the leg out to the right side and just let the left leg fall to the left knee. You can be trying to straighten more here or just going with the way your legs landed. But relaxing, face across. Good, and then releasing that side. And then we'll hug in the left knee and just hug the knee into the chest. Good, and then take the left knee out to the left side and just let your right knee fall to the right side. So we've got a counterweight. And feeling the breath, letting yourself relax. Let your shoulders be relaxed, your neck be relaxed. Good. Bring the legs back to parallel so you can try to take hold of your left foot or your clothing. And then we'll take the left knee out to the left side again. The right knee can just fall to the right. So you've probably got a deep bend in the left leg to start with so that you can reach your foot. If you like the feeling, you can try to straighten that left leg. Or just going with the shape that the leg landed, trying to keep the pelvis weighted evenly to the floor. Relaxed shoulders, relaxed face. Lovely work. And then come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little from side to side. And if you'd like to stay for Shavasana and lay yourself out straight, if you need to finish your practice, rolling gently to your right side and coming up to sitting. And namaste to you. And Shavasana, people making yourself comfortable. If you find when you're lying down that your lower back has any tension, folding your blanket and putting it under your thighs can relieve that tension. Sometimes it's that the back of the neck feels a bit squashed, trying to reach the head towards the floor. Then you would put a head support under your head. So we just check in with the spine. The floors are a nice measure, but it's not always what's going to suit our bodies as they are. Letting your upper arms roll out. Feeling your fingers gently curling. Toes relaxed. And visit those places in your body you know you regularly hold. And just letting go. And then more subtle investigation, excuse me, where we bring our focus to each place in the body as it's mentioned. Letting go of tension. Beginning with your toes and your feet. Your ankles, your lower leg. Your knees, thighs. Hips and belly. Buttock. Lower back, middle back. Back of the ribs. Side ribs, front ribs. Between the collarbone and out to the shoulders. Upper arm. Elbow. And forearm. Wrist. And palm. And thumb. And finger. And now the back of your neck and your throat. around your eyebrows and between them, and around your eyes, and your nose, and your mouth, your lips and tongue, jaw and ears, back of your neck, hmm. Notice the places that connect to the support, the back of the head, the back of the shoulders and your arms, the back of the pelvis, buttocks, calves and heels, maybe thighs. Feel the movement of your breathing, always present, even when we're laying still. The life force in your whole body, and moving gently now with that life force, wiggling your fingers and toes and your arms and legs, and rolling to your right side. Hmm. Mhm. When you're ready, come up and have a seat. Bring your hands in front of your heart, feeling the length of your spine and the ease of your shoulders. Take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste. Mhm.